only, yeah, like toilet paper is our go-to.
I love getting my hair cut, especially when there's a scalp massage involved.
But she would say, your body is a temple and you need to take care of it.
We have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, where he just ate garbage. How long was that? A year?
Do this. I can't do this without Cassie and the kids enabling me to do this.
I find myself encouraging myself, so I'm like, no, you can do this. Don't give up.
We got lots to say.
I love my husband so much and my son. I had a baby. Her name is Isla.
I want to see the baby. I've definitely had multiple drinks on multiple episodes.
Loosen up.
It's a podcast. We're here to have fun, so enjoy yourself.
So fancy.
So fancy, so nice.
Hand wash only stuff bugs me.
Okay, why?
Because I don't want to hand wash it.
So this was like dollar store purchase. So like if it has been in the dishwasher multiple times, but the second I dishwash it, the writing that I've put on the bottom washes off. So then it's like I'm gaslighting myself. I'm like, did you even write anything on there? Like, how do you even know you did that? Of course, people are going to put it in the dishwasher if you didn't write it down. And I've rewritten it like 3 or 4 times. I'm pretty sure, but I can't be sure exactly because I'm so forgetful. And
does it say hand wash only on the bottom? Like, I know you wrote it in.
Yeah, yeah. Like, there's the symbol, but like nobody knows the symbols.
No, I had to look that.
Only.
I had to look up. Yeah, you're right. Like, if it doesn't like put it in English, otherwise it's getting melted.
Don't give me a little emoticon. Yeah. I mean, it's survived. It's just like, it's got that glaze on the exterior of it that's cracking. So,
yeah.
No bueno.
Glaze.
I don't know much about pottery, but I think that's what it's called. Yeah. So, I was going to say, because I said, you're wearing such a nice sweater, and I was going to ask if you've ever heard of the brand Bape.
No. Bape?
Yeah, it's like, it's old. Like, it would probably be considered like a vintage fashion now, because it was like early 2000s. But it's giving Bape vibes.
It's giving Bape. Oh my god, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I'm on the website now. Bape.
Do they still
Bathing ape.
have? So this, like, I believe a bathing ape. Okay, so.
Oh my god, $465 for a fucking hoodie.
So what's happened?
$49 for the ugliest jacket I've ever seen in my life.
What's happened is that it's become, so it says, I'm reading Wikipedia, Japanese fashion brand founded by Tomoaki Nagao, who goes by Nigo, I guess. In 1993, the brand specializes in men's, women's, children's lifestyle and streetwear, running 19 stores in Japan. Anyways, I will say that like this brand became hyper popularized by the rapper Lil Wayne because he wore a lot of their clothes when he was like at the height of his fame. And then yeah, it says the company was sold to Hong Kong fashion conglomerate IT Group for $2.8 million. Nigo left the brand in 2013. He was a former Teriyaki Boys member. That also explains. Sorry, go ahead.
You said Lil Wayne, and I was watching a clip from a podcast earlier, and this guy was talking about the Crips and the Bloods.
Okay.
And he mentioned Lil Wayne and Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
And one thing he said was this is going to sound either like incredibly obvious or so obvious that no one picks it up unless you're in the know kind of thing.
Okay.
And I very clearly was not in the know. You know the song Snoop Dogg's like, and I only ever wear it on the left side? Drop it like it's hot. That's the Crip side, yeah. Drop it like it's hot.
Okay,
Drop it like it's hot. Yeah, the Crips wear all their colors on the left. Their bandanas go on the left side. And the Bloods on the right side. And when they do their hand gang signals, it's the same thing. Right side for Bloods and left side for Crips. I thought that was pretty interesting.
The things you learn.
There's this great movie called The History of Violence. It's about this
Did they
Russian...
talk about it in the movie?
Well, it's about this Russian mafia driver played by Viggo Mortensen, Aragorn.
Mm-hmm.
And he wore Russian mafia tattoos or Russian gangster tattoos.
Okay.
For his character. And apparently, according to, internet trivia, the tattoos were realistic enough that, when he'd go out for a drink afterwards or something like that, people would give him a wide berth or treat him differently or whatever.
Oh, boy.
And so, like...
He just embodied that character so well.
Well, I mean, so when you look at, that, yes. And when you look at, I guess, different gang culture, like, Lil Wayne has got a whole bunch of Crip tattoos or blood tattoos. I can't remember which one he is.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't really notice them because he's got so many other tattoos as well. They kind of get lost in the noise. Whereas, in other gang cultures, that might be some of the only tattoos they get are their prison tattoos or their gang tattoos or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I didn't realize how, obvious it would be that they would have similar sorts of ways of communicating with each other without being obvious about it. Are you a blood? Are you a blood?
Right. Yeah.
Man, did I meet you at the convention last year?
Yeah.
Great, it's good to see you again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not... Yeah. They're not, like, doing business meetings and, like... Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just give them a business card and try to make a deal after.
Not so formal. Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to, just real quick, though. You liked my sweater, but did you notice that it comes with pants?
Is it a one piece or is it two pieces matching? Oh, wow.
It's a complete coordination effort.
I feel like I need to cut the wow that I just said.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
Don't worry. Old Colin would have cried at that, but new Colin is just too damn flat to care.
Yeah, it's like those two-piece sets are like really in right now too. So you're just like,
yeah. And I didn't want to get a monotone. I wanted something cool and fun. So just like Mexican skulls everywhere. Yeah. I hope this isn't cultural appropriation.
I know somebody out there is going to say it is. So I don't know. I don't think
Good thing this episode is going to be in the deep tracks by the time.
Yeah. People are going to have to do some deep diving to come find this.
Yeah. Let's see how bad they were.
Oh, man. And by then, oh my gosh, the flagpole for like how offensive something is going to be like out to lunch. We're going to be the boomers. We're going to be saying all the most awkward, inappropriate garbage. Like
I can't wait. It's going to be great. It'll be funny because we'll do our best to stay up to date and talk as if, we haven't aged at all.
Even right now, I feel that way. I'm like, no, I haven't aged. And then I heard, who was it, JD Vance talking on Theo Von's podcast. He's like, yeah, the old left, I think he was referring to them as the old left. And I think he was talking about like his parents' generation left. Yeah. But I was like, I think I'm old left already. I'm not current left, I don't think. I don't think it's possible.
I always get my left and my rights confused.
Yeah. Right, conservative, left, liberal.
Old left. That's so funny.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, I think about the left that was when we started voting and the left that is now, and I'm like, this are very different, and I haven't kept up with the times. I feel like I've just stayed the same, more or less, and the times have changed.
That's interesting.
So
Did
eventually,
you vote when you were 18?
Yeah, it like landed. There was like a voting opportunity when I turned 18, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
I'm just curious, like, you said you really haven't changed, but I bet you that's a huge understatement.
Why is that?
Because you're almost 18 again.
I know.
Well,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I am.
I keep forgetting you're older than me.
I am, yeah.
You old so-and-so.
Old lady. Yo, I legit can't wait to be a grandma, though. I will
Slow down.
I will talk about, not like a grandmother genetically, but just like do things that old ladies do. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Anyway, sorry. More on that later, but you were going to say. Did you vote when you were...
It had nothing to do with voting. It was just like sort of my entrance into that thought exercise about, I'm sure you're a very different person now than when you were.
I've doubled in age, yeah.
18 years ago. I don't know. I definitely appreciate things a bit differently than I did when I was 18.
That's fair. I shouldn't say that. I haven't changed much since I turned 25, I don't think. Like, I feel like that person, I developed into this person at 25, and then since then, I don't know. Not much has changed since then. Just the mom part.
Just the mom part, yeah. Only the most important thing, probably.
What ways do you feel like you've changed? Like the big ticket items.
Well, I was going to say, to sum up being 18, it's you think you have all the answers to everything. And at the same time, you have the most closed mind of any adult human being. So you can't take in new information and new perspectives, even if you think you're being an open-minded, you know what I mean? Like, we're still so new at thinking about things and thinking through stuff that it's, I mean, just from that point of view, I just acknowledging that I used to be like that shows how far I've come.
I think it's like pure ignorance, you know?
It's got to be, yeah. Like unadulterated, just straight up dumbassery, just out and about.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're allowed to vote and drink and drive. Ooh, it's a dangerous world out there. So dangerous.
Just little kids.
And I don't know about you, but I see everyone that's younger than me as fundamentally dumber than I am. And there's no possible way that they... I don't know the end of that thought. I don't want to say anything really, really offside, so I'm just not going to finish it. But
I was going to say, like, it's because you have grown and you have the perspective of, I didn't know anything then. I feel like when you look at people of that age now, I know I do this, I'm like, you just don't know. Like, you recognize that there is a blissful ignorance in like young people, I would say, especially under 20.
Do you miss it?
I don't think so. I feel like
it's like that scene in The Matrix where it's the red pill and the blue pill. It said, I don't remember anyone fucking asking me to take one of the pills. And now I can't be blissfully ignorant and I gotta fucking face all my shit. You know what I mean?
It's true.
That's brutal. That's so rude.
So rude. No, because I don't know, like, you can't go back, and like there's no sense in wishing you could, and I don't see like, I wouldn't benefit from that at all, so I feel like no. Just
weird.
You?
I can't remember the question.
Oh, like, not would you go back, but like
was there a question? Yeah, it was a great answer. No, I don't think there was I don't know. Could you imagine? We need a stenographer. Colin, Jenna. Oh, yeah, and then we'll cut her off halfway through. Okay, shut up, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to invest in that pretty soon.
I said her because I just watched that episode of The Office where Michael's being deposed for Jan. Can I use the bathroom? No, but I really have to go. You just went to the bathroom. But that was to get out of asking a question. I really have to go now.
Oh, man. That show.
Go ahead.
I just watched the episode where Pam and Jim are on their honeymoon and their credit card gets canceled because Kevin answers the phone. Anyways, it's so silly. And then, oh, man. They get back from Puerto Rico?
I think so. Yeah, that makes sense.
Puerto Rico. And I just watched it. I feel like I should remember this. Anyways, they're talking about it and they're like, is it so nice? They're like, oh, it's so nice. And then Kelly asks, like, was it so romantic? And they were like, something along those lines. Anyways, she's just like, I bet it was. Like, looking so sad. Like,
longing for her own honeymoon.
Yeah, totally. Kelly's character just makes me laugh so much.
I was watching the one of the reasons why I like her character so much is because I know she's also a writer, her and Ryan.
Yeah.
And Toby, funny enough.
And Creed.
Krasinski? Oh, Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know some of the songs.
Not a lot, I don't think. But
yeah.
He helped, yeah.
Some of the, there's that one song he's singing during one of the office parties, and that's one of his own songs.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, he's a musician. He's got a band. Anyway, it was the ping pong episode where Darryl keeps beating Jim. I was thinking John. I got confused because that's his real name. But anyway, Darryl keeps beating Jim at ping pong, and Kelly is all smack talking Pam and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where Pam is coming out of the bathroom just as Kelly's coming in, and Kelly just fucking holds her ground in the doorway and just stares down Pam, and Pam kind of is trying to figure out what's going on, and she steps aside, and Kelly walks by and goes, "Yeah, that's what I thought," and then just goes into the bathroom. But just little shit like that, it's so fucking funny. And to know, guaranteed, she came up with that one too. It's priceless. Her character is incredible.
I would love to have been like a fly on the wall in those like writers' rooms and stuff. Just like all the stuff that they came up with that didn't end up in the show, you know. There's got
all of the footage of the filming of the dinner party episode.
Yeah, I think everybody would pay big money for that for sure. Yeah.
Apparently, it was
like
one of the
unedited takes. Yeah.
I was going through the some of the trivia. I was watching it the other night, and they were saying that Michael during the tour points out 3 things.
Okay.
It's the plasma screen TV, his Dundies, and the table that he built.
Yeah.
Is that walnut? No, it's either Nordic cherry or pine. Something stupid like that. But one thing I didn't realize, and this is sad, and then there's another thing that's going to blow your mind, is that those are the only things that Michael owns that are out there. Oh
my god!
Everything else
in
is
that
Jan's,
whole condo,
and it's all like her decoration and stuff like that. That's why he brings out the St. Pauli girl sign during dinner.
Yeah.
And so there's 2 other things in that episode. He takes Jim and Andy into the garage.
Yeah.
To pitch them Jan's candles.
Yeah.
As investors. And I didn't realize this, but there's a Bowflex, there's like the hand chairs, and there's all kinds of boxes and storage stuff. It's everything that Michael's bought from infomercials.
Oh my god.
Which I thought that was pretty funny. And then of course all the things that he had to get rid of or put in storage when she moved in. But,
it's so like thought through.
Yeah. The other one that came out of this, and this is a spoiler alert, is if we hold to traditional timelines, Jan is pregnant in this episode.
No.
So Michael's talking about the snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. Do you have any idea the physical toll 3 vasectomies can have on a man? And that would have been around the time she went to the sperm bank.
Okay. So we're still not sure if Astrid is Michael's or not.
Well, that's true. Well, it's unlikely that it's Michael's. I don't know
that many vasectomies. Can you ever have a child again?
But what's interesting is, I mean, that could explain her insanely erratic behavior in the episode.
Yeah. I think a lot of things explain Jan's extremely erratic behavior.
Yeah, because we assume it's just like, the pain of her breast enhancement surgery and getting fired in a very traumatic way from her job.
Yeah.
But she might also be pregnant, which I thought was interesting because when you look at the episode from that point of view, you're like, she already stopped essentially loving Michael then.
Big time.
Which is, it's so fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
The cops show up. Do you want to press charges? Would she get in trouble? Yeah, she'd be charged. I'll take the fall. You don't have to press charges. He's just so dumb. I get it. I can understand why. It's like either her therapy started working or she burst that like dream bubble that she was in where she thought being with him might help her.
Yeah, it would be like such a positive, and no. Didn't work out.
Yeah, what a transition we took in this conversation.
I was going to take a turn back to a part of an episode I saw recently, but now think it's gone. Lost and gone forever.
It's the fleeting nature of ADD.
Yeah, oh man, talking about ADD, I saw a TikTok, they're like, have you ever done this and this and also this and this? And it's like specific to women with ADHD who are now moms. And I was like, that's literally my life. Like, I want to cry every day because this is how my brain works and I hate it.
It's
and the
interesting,
worst part is that I feel like I'm in this like weird time space continuum matrix type thing where I'm like aware of the dysfunction, but I can't do anything about it. It's like a trap. Is that part of it?
I think about that a lot, and
Okay.
I'll explain this, and you can tell me if this is what you're talking about.
Okay.
But I think often that I know I'm terrible at remembering things.
Yeah.
And I jump from topic to topic in conversations.
Same. Yeah.
Which I think is the fuel behind our podcast. It's the only thing that makes it
100%.
successful. So it's
Jordan's like, I'm tired of having 600 conversations in an hour. Like, please stop. Yeah.
To you?
He's never said this. I'm just like over dramatizing.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, that's
Sorry.
so.
Jumping from topic to topic.
And I'm aware that I'll forget what I'll tell myself I'm going to remember this. I'm not going to jump from topic to topic. I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen really well, and
Locked
then
and loaded.
I'll take part in the conversation, and then I will transition to the next topic. And then one of two things will happen. I'll either immediately transition to the next topic and the whole plan goes out the window, or I will hold my tongue and I will listen. And then by the time it gets to be my turn, I'll have realized that all the confidence I had thinking I was going to remember it was just a fucking false flag. There was no chance that was going to happen. And it's,
I relate to that, yeah.
Does that, because is that the same thing that you're talking about? Like you're aware of the things that don't work well or right, and you're like, I can, like you said, set the timer for 7:30, so I don't have to worry about recording at 8. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And I was like, well, it's not forgetting that I'm worried about.
Okay.
It's just knowing that it's there is the problem.
Okay. I feel like if I set a timer or alarm for something, it often sets my mind at ease because I'm relying on this trusty device to not fail me, and so that I can then allocate that headspace to other tasks instead of, because or else what I'll do, and I don't know if you saw this TikTok, but there's like this little character, he almost looks like a brain walking around, and he's like a cartoon ADHD character. And he's like, this is what it feels like to go and travel with somebody with ADHD. And he's like at his house. And he's like, but let me just double check to make sure I have my passport. And then when he's in the cab, he's like, just let me double check that I've got my passport. And then at the airport, I gotta double check I've got my passport and my tickets. And then he adds something else to the list. And he's like, oh, but did I pack my passport? He's like just so worried. And I do this frequently. And I think I do it in a lot of like micro ways as well. One of them being like, I have something to do later. I'm worried I'll forget. I'll set an alarm so that I will be reminded in the inevitable event that I forget something. Because another example was like last Friday, I had multiple charters. So it was like we were a revolving door of like picking kids up at the school, bringing them to this theater for a play, bringing them back, picking up other kids. And we did that a few times. And so, I was so worried that I'd be late to like my returns, because like my pickup was easy. I just like after my run I had to go straight to the school, whatever.
Yeah.
So I had set alarms the night before for that day to be like, okay, well, if you need to be in your bus by this time, like I'm like doing backwards math. I'm like, okay, I need to give myself 10 minutes to get there. If I've gotten wrapped up in something, I'm going to need 10 minutes to shut down the activity I'm doing. It's a lot of micromanaging myself in advance. I don't know if that makes sense. But I do also relate to what you're talking about with especially the conversation stuff. Like if I go out and hang out with my friends, I'll be like, I'll be the listener today. I'll be the one who sits and listens and asks questions because I love doing that. But then I get in there, my anxiety takes over, and then I just start, I don't shut up. I hate it.
And this is funny.
I don't notice it in the moment.
But then you stop talking and you're like, why did you say that?
Well, I think it's more just like, how long have you been talking? And then I'll be like, I'm talking so much. I don't think what I say is a issue so much as like, give other people space, Jenna. Give them a moment to interact with you back. Just get so anxious, I think.
Yeah, I think
space.
What I was saying was more like you're judging. I sometimes judge the things that I say. Not that they're worthy of judgment, you know what I mean? But like,
I have been guilty of that, yes, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like I feel the same way in the sense there's a reason why you don't like silence.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason why when you're in a group and then it becomes quiet, you're like, huh. You don't say this to yourself inside. You're really saying, oh, this is bad news. I got to start talking. Otherwise, people are getting angry. They're getting bored. They're whatever. You know what I mean? Your brain starts just going off. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Everything's going to start falling apart if we don't just keep this ball rolling forever. Yeah.
I was at a...
Is that a fight or flight response? Like, is that some form?
It's some form of defense mechanism. I was at a coffee at work one day, and that thing happened. We were chatting. It was good. And then the conversation kind of died down a bit. And I was like, oh, it was good. Nothing wrong with some silence, whatever. Yeah. And then I started talking, and one of the guys at the table, he smacks the table and goes, I knew it. I knew you couldn't handle the silence.
I knew it'd be you.
Yeah. It was so funny. But it was eye-opening for me, too. I was like, oh, this is absolutely true. But to your point about micromanaging yourself.
And you were like, I was doing good. I gave myself 10 seconds.
Yeah. It's like it's like Doug and Steve Wutabi at the club. What's up?
Debrief.
What's up? You gotta slow down. It's audio overload. What's up? 2, 3, 4. What's up? 2, 3. I feel like I did that in my mind. I counted to like 5, and I was like, it's been quiet forever. I should be able to get this thing going again.
I can interject. Yeah. Safe.
The micromanaging thing though, I think we think a lot of aspects about ADD or ADHD or whatever anyone else has got going on. Everyone's brains work differently anyway. So this message really can apply to anyone. Mm-hmm. But I think we often think that some of the ways our brains work are bad or negative or not serving or whatever.
Yeah.
And for the reasons for that mode of thinking could be anything, it could be we've just been told that, or we've been indirectly made to think that for whatever reason. But ultimately, you get to decide if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And so instead of going, oh, I got to stop micromanaging myself, you can go, it's really good. I feel prepared. I don't have to worry about this now. Like you said, once you set the timer, you kind of take the burden of remembering off. Now you know it's gone. And then you're probably more apt to remember it to begin with without then stressing about it in the interim anyway.
Right, because the stress and the anxiety really clouds your logical thinking. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely, maybe that is the part that's helped the most, is just realizing that I'm all set. It's all good.
There's a good book, a friend of mine, John K. The last shout out wasn't
Krasinski? What?
Explicit enough? Yeah, my boy John K.
Okay.
He sent me this book. It's called Your Subconscious Brain Can Change Your Life. And the sub thing is,
tell us more.
Overcome obstacles, heal your body, and reach any goal with a revolutionary technique. So this guy, Dr. Mike Dow, D-O-W. The foreword from the book is by a guy that I follow and I feel like I trust his opinions on the topic. It's Dr. Daniel Amen, A-M-E-N. And, he's been on The Diary of a CEO. He's been on Total Human or Ultimate Human with Gary Brecka. He's been on a lot of these shows, and he's a brain health specialist kind of guy.
Wow. Okay.
And so I wasn't sure exactly what direction the book was going to go. What I'm saying all this to say is that I trust where the book is going because the forward by this guy, who I know, quote unquote, was really, really well written and really supportive of the research that this author had done and the claims he's making in the book. But basically, my understanding is that he does this thing called SVT, subconscious visualization technique.
Cool. Right.
And it's a really interesting way to control sort of like the regulation of your nervous system in a specific moment. You could consider it like a meditation. And then through a series of visualization techniques, you get yourself to transition to different states of brain activity.
Okay. Wow.
So instead of things like, I'm just going to pull up a reference here so I don't screw this up. There's different kinds of brain waves. There's like gamma, delta, beta, theta. I gotta find the right picture. But some of them are designed to keep you, I guess it's delta and theta is like your dream sleep brainwave activity.
That's the name, like that's what they call it?
Theta brainwaves. And then delta is like dreamless sleep. So it's just, it's not necessarily like when you're dreaming and sleeping, you have theta brainwaves. When you're sleeping and not dreaming, they're delta. But you can also relate these.
Okay, sorry. This is very interesting to me because I've always been into dream. Anyways, go on. I want to hear more.
Yeah, so I'm just so there's alpha, beta, theta, delta, and there is gamma. I don't know why it's not listed here. But alpha and beta and gamma are like your conscious waking brain. And then theta and delta are your sleeping brain activities. I want to find a good picture of this because it's
sounds very fascinating.
Well, and using these subconscious visualization techniques, you can induce your brain into expressing these brainwaves, operating on the changing your frequency, so to speak, to use sort of common parlance. And I think people don't realize that that's exactly what all that stuff is. Like you're not, when they talk about aligning your chakras and all this kind of stuff, it's not necessarily woo-woo in the sense that you are putting yourself in a specific brainwave state when you do these kinds of activities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is this not showing up? Audible, you're failing me. But anyway, you use these subconscious visualization techniques to either, depending on sort of where your head's at, what you're trying to do. So if you're really overexcited and worked up and you're in a lot of beta and alpha brainwave activity and you need to bring it down, you can do some of the visualization techniques to induce theta brainwaves.
Okay.
If you're trying to go to sleep at night, you can use a lot of these exercises to help you fall asleep. So kind of literally putting yourself into a trance almost. But then conversely too, like if you're sluggish or slow or you have a lot of anxiety and stuff like that, you can work with, leveraging your beta brainwave activity to bring your brain to catch up to where your head's trying to take you, or your subconscious thinking is trying to take you, and that can offset the use of, ADHD medication. They talk about a lot of chronic stuff like IBS and things like that that can be cured by using subconscious visualization techniques.
Okay.
So, long story short, I think changing the narrative of how you interact with yourself can change the perspective of how you approach it. So I wish I wasn't so micromanaging. I wish I didn't have to think about these things all the time. You can go, yeah, it's really cool. I don't think you'd say that, but I'm grateful that I take the time to prepare myself. Yeah. So that I can check my passport 8 times. I know for sure. That's why I don't pack weeks in advance.
Because you're going to do the thing where you're like, did I pack the thing?
Going to the field in the army or going away and stuff like that. I can't do it in advance because I'll be just consumed by I know I put it in there. Even if I've tried this, packing early and putting a list of items
But
that
then
are
you're
in
like,
that
do I
bag.
trust the list?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
There's no chance it's happening.
How accurate is my list? Did I write down all the things? Did I add something and not write it down? Yeah.
So without getting the brainwaves nailed properly in a situation like that, I could pack in advance, and then whenever those feelings came up, I could use one of these visualization techniques to change the brainwave activity to calm myself. And this is just the science of any mindfulness approach, any calming technique, any stress coping mechanism or whatever. But it shares a lot more of the details. It helps you understand why your brain behaves this way.
Okay.
Which could put a lot of other things into sharp focus and maybe save you some therapy bills. But ultimately, I think it's a really interesting sort of way to understand yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I don't know where I'll find the time, but I would like to
Who's
take
got
the time to listen or read this because, yeah, I'm very curious about, I don't know if he dives into this at all, but I'm curious about why is it that we need to dream? Because, like, we all dream at some point in our lives. I feel like nobody's, like, waking up their first day human and never has a dream their whole life until they die. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that happens. But why are dreams happening? And I get that it's a lot of it decompressing your day. You're, like, offloading what's happening, things like that. But something tells me there could be more to it. Does he go into any more detail about the delta and theta brainwaves? Like, does he describe all of them in equal amounts of detail?
I'm just looking at the table of contents here. I don't recall that in particular. He just describes when those brainwaves are most often seen, I guess you could say.
I see.
But like that, it can tell you what kind of, I guess, mindset you're in. And mindset's not the right thing either, because you're not. If you're trying to induce theta brainwaves, you're not in a dream-like mindset. It's
not conscious.
It is so conscious. Much. It's just the, like, your heart rate goes. It's dream-like. It's sleep-like is more like it. You're putting your body in the same state you would experience sleeping in, except you're awake while it's happening.
Okay.
I'm paraphrasing here, and even that might be a little generous.
Okay.
It's a lot to take in, and I'm only about halfway through it. But dreams are a really interesting one because
my mom has this. It's probably antiquated now, but like it's a dream dictionary, and I remember as a teenager just like being like, I want to know the meaning of this because there's many recurring dream themes that, like, flying's a big one, losing your teeth, people seeing snakes. Like, there's a lot of like dreams that we've all had, and whether there's like a meaning to all of them. Like, I think most of them are like stress related, but the fact that we all have, I can't say the same dream because I'm sure it's not like saying, in the same place as same people, whatever. But
it's the same
like
theme.
repeat themes across the globe. Like, why is that?
I've had the teeth falling out dreams. I've had the falling dreams. I've had the running but going nowhere dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why
trying to scream and nothing comes out.
Nothing's coming out. I think honestly, I think there's an element of just all of these subtle underlying themes resident in our cultures.
Okay.
So as an example, Jordan Peterson relates a lot of what we experience and how we understand the world from a biblical perspective, because so much of our culture is based in the Bible.
So much history is derived from that. Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, there's, the snake in the Garden of Eden, right?
Yeah.
And that would be, in my mind, to my simple understanding. A possible explanation for why, we see snakes as bad, evil things in our dreams and harbingers of pain and suffering and stuff like that, and not
fair.
Creatures trying to enjoy their existence on this planet just as much as we are. I don't know.
Yeah. Just trying to go eat some mice, yo.
Just trying to, Just trying to. I'm a snake. You seen that one? I'm a slithery snake.
I have not. What is it? A TikTok?
It's like a Vine era social media kind of post. Yeah, it's a good one. Very obscure though. Anyway, dreams are cool. Hey, here's an interesting thought about dreams. So, your brain can't really determine what's real or not if your brain thinks it thinks it's real. That's why your dreams seem so real to you. You're in your dream and it's like, I'm experiencing these things, so this is real life. That's why you wake up fucking screaming because you had a nightmare, or
sometimes traumatized. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know what? Or
you like so many, I don't want to say so many, but like a lot of women have been told that they hold like what happens in their dreams over the head of their partners many times.
I had a friend who was mad at me once because this was back in elementary school. So
yeah.
She had a dream that I was in. I wasn't going to say she had a dream about me. She had a dream that I was in,
and
well, no, we were being chased by this massive fucking snake.
Oh no!
And I had a gun with a bullet in it. And I shot myself instead of the snake. And she was fucking mad at me. And I thought it was so fucking funny. I was like, what are the chances? Fuck it, we're both gonna die. Anyway. Yeah.
No, I've been guilty of like a couple times I wake up and like the dream feels so real and I'm so mad at Jordan. I was like, I can't talk to you right now. I need to like disassociate what like my body thinks I just experienced and the fact that like none of it is real. So I just have to like, it's not real. It's not real. Yeah. Like I almost have to like mantra myself into being like, that's not reality and you're crazy if you think it is. You know what I mean? Anyway.
It's very unfortunate that happens and people like Jordan have to go, the fuck?
Yeah, I did nothing. It's like, no, I know you didn't do anything, but like I feel this way. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
But even to that, the idea that you said like it feels real, I have to say it's not real. It's not real. It's not real. How much of people that have anxiety or self-confidence or self-esteem or whatever issue, self-loathing to the extreme.
Yeah.
We often see things the way our brain tells them that they are.
Okay. Yeah.
And so someone's gesture or tone of voice or interaction with you, you may perceive it one way, and in fact, it wasn't that way at all.
Yeah, it's true.
And we don't. This is what I'm saying about the brain thinks things are real. So if you could, we think that when we fall asleep, this is going to be weird, and I don't know if this is going to make sense. We think that when we fall asleep, we're leaving the real world and going to a dream world.
More or less, yeah.
But what if this is the dream world and every night we're falling asleep and we're going to the real world?
I mean, that thought experiment has been proposed I don't want to say many times, but before. And I used to have like vivid, nonsensical dreams a lot. And they were like very consuming, which is why I wanted to like better understand why I was having them. And they weren't like bad. They were just like these fantastical stories that I was living. So I like kept a dream journal for years because I was like, I've got to get it out of my head. Like I can't sit on this, right? But then I realized a lot of it is like really interesting stories that could conceivably be real life in some weird way. And like a few times I've woken up and been like, had that thought. I'm like, was that like, am I in the Matrix right now?
Yeah,
like,
you gotta take a second to.
Yeah.
Did I dream that, or did I remember it and it just overlapped? Like, was this from last night and I just took it through the dream with me?
Yeah,
I've done
Inception,
that before. Yeah,
or
you're like, oh, fuck.
You think somebody's told you something? I've done this so many times. I'm like, oh, didn't you tell me blah, blah, blah? And they were like, I've never said that in my whole life. That has never happened to me. And I'm like,
it's probably because you
I dreamt it. Yep.
Or even
That's
like
fine.
while you were awake. I mean, you go, hey, did Cassie tell me this? And then I immediately fabricate this video reel of Cassie and I having a conversation and her saying something to me.
Are you like making make believe in your brain?
I'm incepting myself, and it's like, and it just compounds that problem. Did you have this conversation with me, or did I just make it up? Yeah, no, that's the problem with having a great imagination. Is it works over time.
That's an interesting thing you just said. Like, the imagination piece is a huge part of it, and like, what did I hear yesterday? You can only be in a state of creativity when you must play to be in a state of creativity or something like that. And like what you just said ties into that too, like the imagination piece. You don't just like wake up and you're imaginative. Like you have to have boredom to allow that to happen. You have to have space in your mind to give yourself space, like the opportunity to think of all these imaginative, creative things, right? So I feel like those are tied
Is it by
together.
John
Maybe
Cleese?
it's pardon?
The quote, it's by John Cleese. If you are going to be creative, you have to be in a state of play. You can't play if you're being careful. If you're trying not to make mistakes, it destroys creativity completely.
Yes. And the piece
now
about
I understand
not
Bob
making
Ross.
mistakes. Yeah, happy little accident.
God.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, speaking of Bob Ross, I came across a painting at the thrift store today, and the way that she did the mountains, I was like, this is the technique for mountains. Like there is one technique, I think, and everybody's been using it. And I'm just like, I'm staring at it in awe because it's like that like brush or
like the knife,
using like a palette knife for it, and just like bringing it down, scraping across. Like I can picture Bob Ross teaching the technique too, and it's just like very heartwarming.
Beat the devil out of him.
Yeah, I made Isla stare at it with me for like 5 minutes. She's like, Mommy, I want to go over here, and then she started fiddling with lamps, and I was like, oh my god, danger zone, gotta go.
That's so funny. Oh my god. But yeah, dreams are trippy.
Dreams are trippy, dude. How have we not talked about dreams on the cast before? I feel like we haven't.
We must have like brushed up on them.
I wanted to, okay, so this ties into two things. I don't want to forget this fun fact. So I learned this at a cookie decorating workshop I did a few weeks ago.
Huge.
She said that
hub for data exchange.
Yeah, truly. And the host was having us decorate all these Christmas themed cookies, and one of them was a snowflake. And she said, when I first started doing this like tutorial on the snowflakes, she's like, I used to say, we're gonna do the arm of the snowflake, because she's like, what is that even called? She's like, turns out there's a word for it. It's dendrites.
Well, that makes sense.
Right? Did you know this already?
No, I didn't, but it makes, now that you say it, it's like completely obvious.
Dendrites.
It's like
it's like a familiar word to oh my god, why can't I even think of it? I'm thinking of in a cave there's
stalactites and stalagmites.
Yeah, and so dendrites kind of like,
well, and aren't dendrites like parts of neurons? The parts that reach out and...
Well, I did not know that.
And this is weird. I'm checking
Dendrites.
Pokemon lists right now because I feel like
snowflake.
Oh, I'm thinking of Staryu and Starmie. I'm totally off.
Are snowflake branches that form? So you could say branches in lieu of arms, which should be very cool. So tying into the topic of dreams, and I don't know if this is a deep question or not, but do you think psychic mediums are real?
That's a really good question. I think most of them, so many of them that we would probably say none of them are real.
Okay. Whoa, hot take.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of it is just either just thinly veiled crap or very creative and very sophisticated manipulation. Like a lot of them lead you.
People reading skills,
Yeah,
things like
exactly.
that. Yeah,
And they can prime you to say certain things. Like
Yeah.
you've seen those jokes where they're like, say roast, say most, say host, say whatever. And then what do you put into a toaster? And then you're going to say toast, but it's actually bread that you put in.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you can be primed for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
It's how salesmen do their jobs.
Operate. Yeah.
They try to get you to say yes
Yeah.
for a lot of things, and it just gets you on that path, right? So I think for those and probably many other reasons, I think most of them aren't real.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think that there has to be some individuals out there that have some sort of connection that is legitimate and that can be used for, purposes other than just knowing. They can communicate it, or they can help other people, or they can understand things. I don't know. And I don't know how that's different than just knowing it. So excuse the bad conversation, because I just don't think that I don't think we can firmly state that it's not possible.
There's no way of proving. Yeah.
There's no way of proving that it isn't possible, but I think just the amount of things that are still unknown, one of my favorite things I listened to on a Joe Rogan podcast like years and years ago was, we don't have the senses to perceive everything. And people call it a sixth sense for a reason, right?
No,
it could just be a sense that not a lot of people have, obviously. And it could be a real legitimate thing. We can see
Sorry,
through...
I'll add to that. I think it's been diluted by modern life as well.
You know what?
We don't have to use our senses as much.
We don't have to connect as much. We don't have to, and not just with people, but like we're not connected with our environment at all.
No.
We don't spend time outside anymore. We don't spend time in the quiet. We don't, you know what I mean? We're totally removed from it.
When do we smell fresh air? Yeah.
I think that's a great point that you brought up. I think that's really, really important. But just like it was relating to something we said earlier.
You were talking about this person on Joe Rogan and something that they said.
Yeah, so, we use x-rays to see through skin and see bones and stuff like that. We use magnetic imaging to take pictures of slices of your brain and stuff like that. We can't sense that. We can't see that with our eyes, but we have developed tools to perceive those things and sense them. So there's nothing to say that we don't have the capacity to do that, and it's just latent or developing.
Yep.
There's a gentleman, his name is Dr. Michael something, and I'll follow up on this. But he's got an interesting theory about aliens.
Okay.
And I don't know if we talked about this on a previous episode. I'm going to try and find the name. But he basically says that aliens are literally us in the future. And that's why they haven't intervened. That's why they haven't attacked. That's why they haven't been violent.
Right.
That kind of thing. And,
we're just able to go back and I don't know, for Johnny's 25th birthday. He's
I forgot my fucking water bottle.
Yeah.
Gotta go back to Earth. Well, yeah, who knows why, if they are real, if this is true, who knows why they would do that.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is it's not, that theory is just a theory, but one of the conclusions he comes to within the theory is that, if these things are us in the future, and we look at ourselves now, and we look at what, the archetypal little green man looks like. They have bigger brains. They have almost no mouth. They have massive eyes and 4 fingers. Like, we're already losing our pinky finger. We're already losing our pinky toe kind of thing. But he suggests that they learn to communicate telepathically.
Oh my gosh, that would be beyond.
Well, and so imagine, if that's true, I think it would support the idea that there are some of us currently now who can tap into whatever field that might be, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't
those
think
aura points. Yeah.
I don't think it's reading the future, telling the future, fortune telling, or anything like that.
Okay.
Only because I firmly believe that that's that's within everyone's power
You
to
can
choose their
change
own
it.
future.
Yeah.
Or change it. Yeah, I think most of what people struggle with is just awareness and understanding of who they are in the world around them. I think so many of us just don't. We just let the world happen around us, and we don't stop and go, this isn't happening to me. It's just happening, and I am here at the same time.
Yeah.
And you can truly change anything you want. You don't have to keep going down the road you're going. You know what I mean? So I don't think psychics per se are real, but I definitely think that there are people out there, or I think there should be people out there. I'm not saying that there are. I think there should be people out there who probably can do stuff like that. As crazy as that sounds. What do you think?
No, I'm curious about it, kind of in the same way. I'm like, there's no reason why somebody couldn't if they actually do. Whether they actually do or not is up for debate, I think. The idea, so like, I think it's called psychic mediums when they like talk to the other side, so to speak. I feel like I've watched a number of them, and it does, for some of them, feel very leading. But there was this one lady, I feel like I watched a few times, and she was like asking like no questions, and she was just like providing information. She's like, Bob is telling me this to tell you, blah, blah, blah. Like, she just is so, like, I think she's one of those few people who like maybe can connect with what we call the other side,
Yeah.
I don't want to say there's no reason for that not to happen. Like, we don't know what comes after death, what that looks like. If people, materialize into just energy vapors in the air, like, I don't know, right? Like, it's all very mysterious and unknown. Like, to say they don't exist, I think would be very closed off. But also, how many of them are authentic and legitimate? That's up for debate.
Yeah, it's what I like about it is that it's sorry, I'm just trying to find the name of this doctor so that if anyone else wants to, they can check it out.
Yeah,
I watched a YouTube video.
Michael. Says Dr. Michael.
I'm just going through my YouTube watch history here. I know I watched him on a YouTube video. Yeah, I think our understanding of what's possible and what's not possible is incredibly limited. You know what I mean? And to that end, I'm really open to the idea that it is possible that people can do that for sure, in a really real way. Oh, have you heard of that guy Bashar?
I don't think so.
He's this bald dude that he's some fucking dude, and then he channels this alien named Bashar.
Oh.
Now I'm getting all this Bashar al-Assad stuff because Syria is fucking...
Yes, oh my gosh.
It's going down.
They're in a good place, but not out of the woods yet, I guess, so to speak.
Darryl Anka is his name.
Okay. Darryl?
Darryl Anka. And he channels Bashar, who is an alien. And, I've seen clips of him channeling Bashar and giving, when you're taking a step back, you're like, you're not really saying anything. You're giving very vague sort of, like when he's referencing dates, he's like in the mid to late sevens or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, you can't.
Okay.
And then you'll have plenty of time between now and then to figure out how.
Build the bunker in your basement.
To talk yourself out of that one, yeah. We were talking about mediums or psychics. Channeling is an interesting one too. Like, I feel like that would be part of what we're discussing in terms of what couldn't be. But I mean, if you're channeling an alien and he's not giving you fucking specific, if he's claiming that he can offer this information, I'd be like, no, I need a date. I need a DTG, a date time group. I want to know when this is going down. But he'll say something like, it's if I do, it'll alter the future or blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like I can't intervene that way. I'm like, well, then why the fuck are you teasing me,
Then
Get
why
outta
are we here? Yeah. What are we even doing?
Find this guy's name. Dr. Michael believes in aliens. The things I put in Google search.
Things you never thought you'd Google.
Dr. Michael Masters. It's the extraterrestrial model.
Ooh, okay.
Aliens are our future human descendants.
Whoa, that is messed up.
It makes sense because they would be our descendants, but when we say future, we're thinking the past for some reason.
It defies descendants in some way. Yeah.
So bizarre. That was a great question.
What was the question?
Do you believe in psychics?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. My mom's been to a bunch.
I know
Cassie's mom.
Bunch. Yeah,
I was gonna say Cassie's mom found one that she was like, she's like, this woman's figured it out. Like, she's for legit. Yeah. Very interesting.
I don't want to go to one because I think I wouldn't let myself enjoy it. I would be trying to figure out what they're trying to do with each question.
Yeah, like,
and then I'd be
going with this.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a CIA field operative trying to like negotiate with the enemy without giving anything away.
Yeah, you're like going in undercover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Except there's a reason why I don't have that as a job, so it wouldn't go very well.
Speaking of which, the episode where Dwight leaves the mallard on the desk with the listening device, and then he has the pen, and he's like, of course I wanted Jim to find the mallard.
I wouldn't leave my primary listening device in a duck. And then it's just, I got 8 hours of this to catch up on, and then it's just Jim. Yeah, we've got 50-pound card stock and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he's making sales. I'm like, what the hell?
Just wasting his time. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, like what is Jim doing that is sinister enough that Dwight's gonna like take him down,
Everything just to get him fired, man.
Anything. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah. That's a wrap, folks.
Yeah, we'll have to tell everyone we didn't record last week because I was in Orlando on a business trip.
I was gonna say it was for work.
Yeah, it was the hardest work, and I'm not even joking. It's the hardest I've worked all year. It was this week.
Sweet.
Yeah.
At least it was in the tropicals, no?
Yeah, it was pretty cool in the evenings, to be quite honest. It got down to like 12, 13 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't get to, enjoy the sun as much. This Orange County Convention Center is like 7 EY centers.
Okay, holy shit.
It is effing massive.
Yeah.
And we were only in like a quarter of it. It's wild. They have north and south concourses. EY Center's got a front and a back door.
Yeah.
You know what
like
I mean?
you can see the other corner from
the extra concourses that are added is just tent structures designed to look like big hallways, you know what I mean? It's not a fucking real thing. But yeah, so sorry about that, but we're back on track and probably take a break over the holidays, but we'll
I think we'll tone it down over the holidays and pick back up till mid-Jan, and then we're on vacation.
Yeah,
and
vacay. I'm so excited.
Sun, sand, surf, but like not really actually surfing at all.
Yeah, it's gonna be sun, poolside beach chair.
Yeah.
No surf.
And sand.
Well, yeah, a little sand when you go for a walk on the beach or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, who knows? We might love the beaches and just spend all the time in the water.
Yeah,
salt water tastes like ass.
It's like in the past, I feel like I know Jordan avoids the ocean just period.
He's got PTSD from the ocean now. The ocean reached out and touched him.
It did. But I think the water is a lot more clear where we're going. And we'll see. We'll see if Jordan takes a little dip in the ocean.
We'll find out. And we'll let everyone know too.
Yeah, we've got to fill you in on this very, very high priority info. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks you, everyone.
So much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and toodles.
I keep